I am taking my prayers to the hockey gods. I am inscribing them on blessed paper, wrapping it all up in a bow, and sending it out to the heavens above because man, oh man, do I want this to happen. Hockey gods, hear my prayer. Because earlier yesterday we had ourselves a segment of Donnie and Dolly where Dolly goes out there and gives some updates as to the Vancouver Canucks and what we could expect with the free agent search next week. If 9 million is the number, I'm not going to be surprised. It talks about Jake Guentzel, etc., etc. Video will be linked in the description if you want to go ahead and listen. Dolly opens the clip up by talking about how Jake Guentzel and the Vancouver Canucks, while it was sort of reported by some NHL people, and I think it was on Sportsnet 650 where they talked about how the Canucks are apparently the favorite for Jake Guentzel and his services. Dalibor says, hey, Canucks fans, hold your horses, because Carolina is entering the mix again. We are seeing other teams putting themselves in contention for Guentzel. You had LA opening up some cap space with the Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. You had the Detroit Red Wings and Steve Yzerman sending away Jake Walman for nothing and trading him away for cap relief. So essentially, teams from around the entire NHL are finding ways to improve their squads, and a whole bunch of them are doing this by freeing up cap space. You can bet that some of these teams will be going after Jake Guentzel, and so when it comes to the number that might get it done, Dalibor says it might be in the $9+ million range. Who really knows? And for Vancouver, you can say that bidding war might be a bit too high out of their own range. Now, we had already had our conversations as well. We had spoken about how the Canucks, it seems like they really want Jake Guentzel, and Patrick Allvin and Rutherford, I personally, you can have your own opinion, but I personally am confident that they're going to be able to do what it is that they need to do. They'll trade away guys, they'll open up cap space, they'll not re-sign some of the more expensive dudes, because when it comes to getting their guy and Jake Guentzel, yeah, they want to make that reunion happen. And they'll try. But in this video, what I wanted to do was talk about the other free agent target that Rick Dalibor says the Canucks could go out there and think about in regards to free agency, especially in the situation where the Vancouver Canucks lose out on Sam Lafferty. He's a free agent to be. He doesn't have a contract at the time of recording this audio, and I don't think he's going to get a contract between now and the time this video gets public on YouTube. But Sam Lafferty was a middle to bottom six guy that the Vancouver Canucks had that was playing top 6 minutes at certain parts throughout the year. He had 0 points in 11 playoff games alongside of Elias Pettersson. He had 24 points in 79 games in the regular season, although a good chunk of that production came in the first half of the year. Sam Lafferty had a very strange beginning of the season where he was like on fire. It was almost like, do you remember that year that Derek Dorsett played with the Canucks? The last year of his career, I'm pretty sure, where he started out the year scoring like at a goal a game pace and then he had to end off the season due to injury. Sam Lafferty, while he wasn't that good, it kind of reminded me of that situation where he was so out of nowhere, this amazing scorer in the bottom of the lineup, and then he got promoted playing time with other top-tier players, and things just kind of worked out for him at the beginning of the season. As the year went on, though, Lafferty's effectiveness just was not there. His conversion rate on rushes was non-existent. He had stopped being able to drive the puck to the net. He'd stopped being able to get these really out-of-nowhere goals where he would explode with speed, blow by a guy, and then put the puck in the back of the net because the goalie wasn't expecting him at that velocity to come in and be able to score. He didn't take advantage of his tools as much in the second half of the year. Sure, he was still physical. He was still getting under opponents' skin. That's always going to be a part of his game. But Lafferty didn't show off much in the ending parts of the season. And as a result, you could very well say that his departure from Vancouver is inevitable. So, who does Rick Dalibor say could be a replacement for Sam Lafferty? He goes out there and mentions Tyler Motte. Hockey gods, I want this to happen so badly because Tyler Motte, everybody, actually still is a good enough player, I'd say, to bring back onto this team. 29 years old, 5'10", 192, left-handed guy, and he is an absolute buzzsaw out there. This previous season with the Tampa Bay Lightning, yeah, that's right, Tyler Motte was on the Tampa Bay Lightning. He had 9 points in 69 games played and 1 goal in 5 games in the postseason. He had played all the playoff games, which was great, had a goal, which was great, and was still able to find ways to showcase that value that he had. Now, of course, Tyler Motte was a former Vancouver Canuck. He was sent over to Vancouver in the Thomas Vanek-Jussi Jokinen trade from 2018. That's a blast of the past. I was back in high school in the band room in one of my third period breaks, recording the video wherein that trade was actually talked about. Yeah, big memories for me back in the day. But ever since then, Tyler Motte had spent the next 4 seasons with the Vancouver Canucks, maxing out with a 15-point season in 49 games played before getting traded to the New York Rangers, where he finished off the season in their playoff run. Tyler Motte was a monster. And as a bottom 6 guy, you cannot get anything more out of this player, of course, except for offensive production, but you're not really expecting that much out of your 4th-line guys in general. Either way, though, Tyler Motte does everything well. Dalibor says that the Canucks are looking for speed, and Motte can give you speed. Speed. I am speed. 1 winner, 42 losers. Okay, you get where I'm coming from with this, right? The guy is so fast, he is so responsible defensively, he plays on the PK, he can score clutch goals when he needs to. That 2020 bubble playoff run series against the St. Louis Blues, where Tyler Motte just absolutely went off, I feel like a lot of the same feelings that we had about Nikita Zadorov in this playoff run this year, you could kind of apply to Tyler Motte in 2020. He was that good in that time frame. And if the Vancouver Canucks are going to be one of these teams that potentially could be looking at the services of Motte once again, I feel like that's a really good fit. As a Sam Lafferty replacement, Tyler Motte can be slotted into that spot with a lot more of a stability in the way that he's able to play, because Sam Lafferty, unfortunately, was given the big, immense responsibility of playing with Elias Pettersson for a good chunk of the season and the playoffs. And unfortunately, Lafferty just isn't that guy. Like, he's not offensively capable enough to be able to keep up with the Pettersson, and while stylistically you could say, oh, you could have Pettersson play with 2 fast guys that could dig the puck up and give it to him, it just didn't work in practice. Lafferty and Michkov with Pettersson, in theory it sounds like an interesting idea, but in practice, no, it did not work. With Tyler Motte in the fray, though, you kind of have this idea where it's like, yeah, he's not gonna be an Elias Pettersson line mate, but he's versatile enough where if you forced him to play anywhere, he probably could get things done properly. And also I'm thinking about it like, hey, Connor Garland is a player that I would say exhibits similar traits to Tyler Motte. Tenacious, speedy, small, pretty good defensively as well. And Connor Garland is a player that excelled so well under Rick Tocchet's system that I kind of wonder if a Tyler Motte is going to do exactly the same thing. Maybe Tocchet could unlock some sort of an offensive potential gauge with Tyler Motte in his play. You gotta remember, Motte is not a bum when it comes to scoring points. In the NCAA, he was an absolute beast. Top point scorer for the Michigan Wolverines in 2015-16, alongside of guys like Dylan Larkin and Kyle Connor. He was one of the top guys in that time frame. So he fit in offensive-leaning systems, and he was able to score points himself. It's just in the Vancouver system, in the Chicago system, in the Columbus system, in the New York Rangers system, and in the Tampa Bay Lightning system, he did not really need to do that. He just needed to fill out his role. And role players are very important too, and the Vancouver Canucks could very well be looking at a good one if they decide to sign Tyler Motte. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this Rick Dalibor commentary as to Motte potentially being a target. I'll link it in the description if you want to go ahead and listen to it yourself. What are your opinions about Sam Lafferty out and Tyler Motte in? Would you prefer this? Would you like Lafferty to come back? Is there anybody else that you'd rather have on your radar instead? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if that is the case, but for now, I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.